Welcome to Time Frame Thursday with a quote from Tom Peters. I love this. Momentum is a fragile force. Its worst enemy is procrastination. Its best friend is a deadline. Love that. I love that. I love it because I love deadlines. They create so much power in my life, in every level, really. Hi there, my name is Christopher Diamani, and it is my pleasure and my passion to empower nonfiction authors just like you, so you can turn your dream of writing a book into your published reality. That's why I do what I do, so that you can be successful. I've done this a whole bunch of times, and I want you to do it a whole bunch of times too. And that's why we're here. It's why we're playing this crazy game today. So the first thing I want to talk about is the power of deadlines. They are truly powerful, powerful allies. They create a sense of urgency, a sense of momentum inside your own mind. They also force you to set priorities so that you're working on the thing that is most important first. Eating the frog first, as Brian Tracy, that's his name, as Brian Tracy said in that awesome book of his. You want to focus on the most important thing first and ignore everything else until that's done. And a deadline helps you do that, truly does. Use deadlines, sorry, I'm getting too excited. I use deadlines everywhere, so I want you to do the same thing and for the same reason. Use deadlines while you're writing every portion of your book. Yeah, of course, there's the great big three, the big three. There's your first draft deadline, there's your final draft deadline, and of course, there's your publication date. But you can, and I believe you should, leverage your time for all those other deadlines as well, all the shorter ones that fill in the gaps between those big three. Fill those in. By creating deadlines for all the smaller milestones, you make completing that journey down publication highway so easy. The more of these little mini milestones you can set, the easier they are to achieve. And the easier they are to achieve, the more successful you feel. And the more successful you feel, the faster you write, the better you write, the sooner your book gets out into the world so you can make the impact you were born to make. It's just this snowball effect. It's the avalanche of success flowing down, right? You want to make sure you're setting all those little tiny deadlines to make this really easy in your own life. So, as you already know, if this is your first time, this will be brand new for you. Your scheduled writing sessions are absolutely the greatest mini deadline you can set for yourself. Set the appointment, show up for the appointment, whether you feel like it or not. So critical for your success. Because that mini deadline, just in that one day where I schedule, for example, for myself, at 4 o'clock every day is writing power hour, which means there's a 1 hour time a block of time where I've set aside, and I will do nothing but focus on whatever the biggest and most important writing task of my day is. That's it. Everything else I ignore, at least for that 1 hour. The rest of my calendar for the day kind of dictates the start and stop times, but I try and focus on leaving this hour a little open-ended so that if I get on a great roll, I'm not forced by some other circumstance, some other commitment to stop. So, but set that mini deadline in your own life as well. And then use Manuscript Math to make sure that you know exactly how many days it'll take you to write your first draft. That's the beauty of Manuscript Math. And once you know what that number is for you, then set that on your calendar. Mark that day, however many days that is from today, on your calendar. And then commit with everything that you have in your being. Commit wholeheartedly to meeting or beating that deadline. I believe you should commit to beating the deadline. Meeting it, that just means you're doing what you know you could do already. But when you beat it, the thing that helps you the next time and the time after that is that you've proven to yourself, even if in only one small way, that you're capable of so much more than you think you are. And that's the light bulb, that's the door of possibility I want to kick open for you every single day, not just on Time Frame Thursdays, because we are all capable of so much more. And it's only when we push ourselves, when we get our mind into the place of, oh, that's a little frightening. It's that sort of uncomfortableness that allows us to excel. We can't do it without that slightly fear-motivated start point, At least I'm not able to. So my encouragement, of course, is to dare yourself to do more, to write faster, to do everything you can to beat your first draft deadline. So if your deadline is, let's say, 21 days away, just for sake of argument, commit to doing it in 20. Commit to do it in 18. And then whatever time you beat that by, make that your deadline for the next one. And so that when you know you can do it in 18 days, well, then you have to do it in 15. You got to force yourself to break whatever that speed record is for yourself. Because here's the thing that most people want to ignore, believe is not true, think it's a lie. The faster you write, the better you write. The more you're going to write like the way you speak. You're going to be more coherent, more clear. So that's one of the many reasons I'm such a huge proponent of setting a really short deadline for my first draft, to force me into that uncomfortable place that is also the most comfortable place on the planet. And that's that magical zone, that creative place where everything great goes on. It's impossible to get there from inside the comfort zone. Can't be done. We need to step outside of that place of psychological safety and do the thing that terrifies us, even if only a little. And that's how we enter the zone. That's how we do it. So scheduling your first draft deadline, of course, I also want you to schedule a deadline for your read-through of your first draft, which is the process of reading your entire manuscript from beginning to end, making notes along the way as you go. Things like, well, this doesn't flow right, this is feeling a little bit choppy, I need some more information here because I didn't have it at my fingertips when I wrote the first draft. What is the research I need to do to find that information? What are the holes that I'm seeing? You want to write all that stuff down during your read-through so that when you go to do your second draft, you know you've already done all the work, you've gone away, done the research, you've made notes about the holes you want to fill, and it makes that second draft so much simpler. And again, set a deadline for that second draft and make it, again, uncomfortably short. Force yourself to get out of your comfort zone and into that zone of brilliance. And I think what's going to happen, you'll discover things are really amazing in that zone of brilliance. And SMARTU goals, I take what Brian Tracy taught a whole bunch, and I add a U to the end of it. So SMART goals plus a U, and we'll get to that in a moment. But set those kind of deadlines for everything that you do. And all that means is that you're setting there's a specific task you want to complete. You can measure what completion means for you, whatever that is. So whether that's 500 words today or whether that's a completed first draft by Tuesday, like whatever that is, measure what success is. Is it attainable for you? Is it possible for you? Now, this is, of course, anything is possible, but some things are a lot more easy. And in terms of attainable, is it possible by the time frame that you've set for yourself with the skills that you have today? That's the thing to think about. Is it relevant to achieving success in the grander picture of what you're trying to accomplish? Is it time bound? Time bound just simply means there needs to be a time limit. You need to have a fence of time set around this, so that's the deadline. That's if the first draft deadline is 21 days, well, in 21 days is that time fence you've set around this thing. And then, of course, you need to make it uncomfortable. Because when you step out of that comfort zone, out of that place where everything is really great, where everything is warm and fuzzy, and their favorite television shows are always on, and your favorite food is in front of you, and there's an endless supply of it, when you step out of that comfort zone, that's where you're able to get into that mindset, that place that magical place where all the really great things go on, where all your inspiration shows up, where all your best writing comes from. Some people say it's impossible to force inspiration. I don't agree. I think it's possible to force inspiration to show up every time I'm courageous enough to kick my butt out of my comfort zone, because I'll never find it in there. And that's why these routines also help, that daily writing session. The more routine, the more consistently I do something, the easier I make it for inspiration to show up. So all of this is with the end goal of making my writing life easier, faster, simpler, and more powerful. That's the whole point of all of this stuff. So go ahead, implement this in your life, go and be brilliant with it. I think you'll discover that when you put these structures in place, when you put these so-called restrictions upon yourself, it's like that massive heat and the massive pressure that forces coal into diamonds. That's what you're doing to yourself. You're forcing yourself to become better, faster, more clear in your thinking. All those great things. That's it. Go be brilliant. And if you enjoyed today's video, please like and share it with your family and your friends. And if there's something that struck you particularly, share in the comments. I'd love to know what that is. And then please go to authorcoach.click/Christopher, and you'll find links to all my social media platforms. And I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn and all the rest of them. All right? So with that, have a fantastic rest of your Thursday, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Bye for now.